Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? I want to start with the Saints, and I would love your opinion. We always have preconceived notions going into a season. Saints going into their bye, they're at 3-2 despite all their personnel losses. Where, based on what your expectations were for this team heading into the season, what is your opinion on them heading into their bye?
It's about a couple things. It's about record-wise, it's probably right where I thought it would be.
Okay.
In contention, but not the best team in the division, with some things to work on and probably a little bit, a step back a little bit offensively, but with more big plays because of the ability to throw it. Now we know about all the way Sean's protected it, but a lot of credit to Jameis Winston, 5 weeks in, man. Even though he was 50%, I think, last week or so, and turned the ball over a couple times, but 4 touchdowns, had some big plays. He's doing a good job trying to manage, when Sean is, what are we going to do today? It's 22 throws, and the run game was efficient. Their defense is lights out. They really are. They're playing good football, man. They, forced the quarterback into some errors, and they didn't get a high percentage. They shut the run game down. I'm impressed with them. I think it's right where I thought it would be. The defense is better than I thought, and the offense is more efficient than I thought, yet still waiting on big plays. But considering the injuries and where they are and where you've had to come from with with Michael out and with Drew Brees gone, there's some things that have had to change for them. They're about record-wise where they are, and I think that their defense is going to keep them in games. They're going to beat somebody that they're not supposed to beat that's considered a big-time playoff team. If they keep protecting the football and expand their offense, and this defense is healthy and they get their guys back as an entire whole, I trust the coaching staff. They're going to be hanging around come playoff time.
I'm curious, Sean, if that team might be Seattle. We learn it'll be Geno Smith and not Russ when the Saints go there after the bye. How fundamentally different is Seattle with Geno Smith as opposed to Russell Wilson?
I respect Geno Smith. I respect anybody who plays that position or plays football in the league, but this is they can't sustain what they're doing without Russ. And that's not that Geno Smith can't be a good player. We've seen him, had great success in college, has had at times flashes of success in the NFL, but he's a backup. And that's why he's a backup quarterback. Played pretty good coming off the bench for Russ, when he did last week. But to sustain it and to be the guy to carry it, you lose a lot with the legs. You lose a lot with command of everything that's going on. Geno's a good player. In that West, I do not know how they're going to continue to withstand that with the great teams in the West. Even the 49ers, who are struggling some, they're trying to get healthy, but those two teams are without some really good players, and now with Russ, I don't see how, if New Orleans plays the right game, how they don't win the football game. It's not as intimidating, Matt. I think that game's in Seattle, is it not?
It is. Yeah, it's a Monday night football game a week from Monday.
Right. It's not as intimidating as it's been in the past. For the fact that maybe it's the fact that the defense, there's not that same presence. Even though the 12s are a really good fan base, I don't think people waltz in there anymore and say, "Oh man, they've got an extra man advantage on us." I don't think that's the case. You don't turn it over, you're going to beat them as long as you just keep the ball in front of you and don't let Geno have an out-of-body experience. This team is miles different without number 3 at quarterback. Now, if you take him for granted, he's a pro, he can beat you, but I don't see how they can keep up without Russ.
He's on Twitter at Sean Unfiltered. That's got Saints fans certainly feeling confident as they get healthy. There was another bit of news in the NFL this week, Sean. It was interesting. It's really, I guess, out in Vegas. So for the first time, the Kansas City Chiefs are not the betting favorite to win the Super Bowl. It's now Tampa Bay. So I want to go down both of these paths. I want to start with Tampa Bay because they're in the Saints division. Brady's thumb. You played the position. You got an injured thumb. We saw this with Drew Brees a couple of years ago when he banged his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet. Are we to suspect Tom Brady's just going to keep rolling along with the thumb injury?
Yeah. Listen, I've done it too. The right thumb hitting it on a helmet Now, listen, the normal mere mortal, we'd say, come on, man, you can't do this. But it won't shock him if he goes and throws for 400 next. That's him. I mean, where they play Philadelphia.
It's crazy.
Until I know he's not going to play or be successful, and with the weapons on that team, listen, now the severity of it, and Matty, you and I both know this, that if you get to a point, that's a big part of your grip, is that now I can live without the pinky finger or certain, you can get by with that because you can do some things, but the thumb is a big part of the grip. So if it was so bad and you can't grip it, then they're in trouble. But if it's bothering you and it's a little sprained, but you can tape it up and still deliver the football, I don't put it past Brady to go out and have another game. And yeah, I mean, if he's standing on the sidelines, we'll know how serious it is. If he's standing on the sidelines, the street closed, different ball game. But if he's playing, that means it's good enough for them to get by and go do their thing. And they should be the Super Bowl favorite. Sometimes you get lucky. Last year in August, I had the Patriots playing not the Patriots, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Chiefs in August in the Super Bowl, and the Buccaneers winning it. And I think the Buccaneers are better. I did. I picked. I don't. Sometimes you get lucky, and the Chiefs was a fairly easy pick, but you wondered. At about 6 weeks into the season, I'm saying, well, I don't know if Tom and Bruce, what's going to happen. They went on and won it. Once they got on that roll, it was like, oh, here we go. Yeah. I think they're better this year. Now they've got to get back into the mix, and they got their early season. They got their loss and taken it by a good Rams team, but there's no reason for me to believe that they're not the best team in at least the NFC now. In the AFC, I think Buffalo's better than Kansas City. I think that the LA Chargers are better than Kansas City. I think with the way some teams play, that 3 or 4 teams are in Kansas City. If Mahomes isn't there, they're in real trouble. But Pat is there, and he's going to keep them rolling. But the lines in Vegas are correct. The defense, the inability to rely on a heavy run game, the physicality at times. Mahomes dressed in a phone booth, but so does Herbert, so does Allen, so does Brady. We go down a long list. I would not – now, Mahomes is special, but we're no longer – the distance between Mahomes and the next couple guys in the AFC pretty close. And they're mobile as well, and their teams, both Buffalo and the Chargers, are better. Now, Mahomes can go on a run. We know that. It's like a Tiger Woods run where he wins 3, 4, 5 tournaments in a row. But when it all gets right down to it, the physicality and the ability for the quarterbacks to match Mahomes and then the rest of the supporting cast in certain positions better, I wouldn't put the Kansas City Chiefs in the top 5 in the NFL right now when you combine AFC and NFC.
Wow. Sean Salisbury, we'll talk some LSU in a second, but I got one more NFL question. Are you a believer in Dallas?
I am. I think they're sneaky. I had them winning the division when the season started because, quarterback number one. I've been very loud about Dak Prescott even when he was injured. I said, pay the man his $40 million and let's keep it moving. He's proven that you're not very good without him, and you're really good with him. And their offense is lights out, man. They can be the best offense in the league. They've got that ability, and their 2-back running back, aside from Chubb and Kareem Hunt, I'm not so sure that's not the best in the league when they're both healthy and going. Pollard, he hits a hole as fast as any guy I see in the league do it. It's pretty amazing. But Prescott, their weapons, as long as they're healthy, Teron Smith's playing back at a high level, and their defense, Dan Quinn's made a difference, and Diggs is a phenomenal player. They got some Johnny-on-the-spot players. I am a believer, and I think they're going to win the division by the middle of December, so it'll give them a chance. I do. I think they're dangerous because they're capable of putting up 30 points on you, and if they get a good defensive stand against somebody or have a bad game for one of the Rams or a Buccaneers, that the Cowboys could be a very, very big surprise when it goes down. I wouldn't discount them right now because their division's easier as well.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.